Hello friends, and welcome back for another episode of the 380 SL. On today's video we are going to install a power shutoff that somebody had already installed one, but it's not working. This is what it is. It's basically disengages the battery from the rest of the car without having to disconnect the battery completely. This is useful to completely kill the power from the vehicle, and it's also useful for storage. So this way your battery would not drain over time if you're storing the car. We are going to reinstall a new one, but before we do that, we're gonna make a few changes so that it's done better, because whoever decided to install this in the past didn't do a great job, in my opinion, but obviously they thought they were doing a great job. And the main reason I'm saying that is because they decided to make a cut in a very short place, and I don't know why they didn't leave a little bit more room. So to do this, we're going to splice that wire back to its extension. I'll show you that it's sitting inside and then remount the new power switch. That's where they mounted the bracket for it, and then we'll show you how that is done in a second. So here's all the things that you need to make that splice. Originally I wanted to use a crimped 1-to-1 splice, but it was hard to find something that would fit this size wire and the other side, and at the same time you have to purchase a tool to crimp it properly, so you have a good solid crimp that's not gonna create any resistance issues or heat up the joint from all the power that's being transferred. So I've settled for this mechanical splice that uses these screws to bolt on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fit that wire in here, like so. Okay, this is hard to do by one hand. So this is going to go all the way in, and then the other side is going to go all the way in, and these screws are going to go from the top, and then I'm going to add some Loctite just on the outer side of these joints. And after we've made the joint, obviously we're going to have the heat shrink ready. It's going to go in and cover the entire thing. We're not going to use this whole area, we're just going to cut. It's just going to be about probably half of it. And then after that we are going to use this dual wall heat shrink where the inner wall melts out and creates a tight seal. The reason we're doing it this way is because this does not fit on this. So first we're going to put a heat shrink, then we're going to seal the heat shrink to this outer layer. We're also going to apply mastic patch around the entire splice after we have bolted the wires. We've got 2 mastic patches, one for each side, because you want to make sure that there's no moisture, so no corrosion builds up over time. Once the entire splice is completed, we're going to put this high abrasion sleeve all around the entire thing to prevent it from rubbing through due to engine vibration or road vibration, because this lays, if you saw earlier, lays directly against the metal of the car, and that is very important because this is going to be the positive, and then the rest of the car, which includes the metal where this guy is going to lay and rest, is the negative, because the body of the vehicle is the negative. And then it doesn't have any sharp edges except from this side, so the sides are pretty dull, so those won't rub through. However, another very important part of this whole procedure is you have to make sure that you're using gloves. You don't want to touch anything with your hands like I was doing right now, because you don't want oils from your fingers to contaminate the wire or the splice. And you want to clean everything. I'm using pure acetone and QD electronic cleaner. You have to make sure everything is clean, so that your metal to metal contact is maximized and there's no contaminants or oils that could hinder the flow of electricity. This is an important tip that you must follow. So yeah, and then using Loctite is also important because you don't want over time these screws to back out. That will create a loose contact, and then that could spark and create a fire, or heat up from the resistance and create a fire. And next important tip is that you have to make sure it's sealed so moisture doesn't start a corrosion, or if you had a water issue, you don't short circuit. Finally, you want to make sure that your splice is protected against vibration and wear and tear by using a this is a very tough material. It's called Nylogard. You can either use this or roll a tape of electric tape or high abrasion tape that you can find in any electric hardware store. But it's very important to make sure also that wherever this is gonna live inside the car, or in my case in the trunk, there's no sharp edges on that side. So no sharp edges on this end, no sharp edges on that end, so that there's no potential knife like edge that could cut through whatever insulation material. So we're gonna put this thing together and show you how it's gonna go in the vehicle. All right, guys, so here, let the camera zoom. Okay, so here you're seeing the final step. Let me show you inside. I should have taken the video before I put this on. But then this is what you see. This is where our splice, there's the heat shrink on it, and then we put automotive high abrasion tape, and then we're putting the sleeve, the high abrasion sleeve. So this guy should be super protected now. I mean, it's an overkill if you ask me, but I have the items and I'm using them. So you don't have to go that crazy, but if you would like to have a peace of mind like I do, that's the way to do it. So next we are going to install the new kill switch. Come back here. So this guy is gonna connect to that one, and then the other side would be the other positive battery cable. And then this way we can disengage on off. Whoa. We can disengage on off from here without having to disassemble the battery. Another thing you want to do is you want to protect the back of these. You don't want them touching here at all. This will ground your car, so make sure that you install this in a safe space where no power gets to it.